The mouse battery is very low. Welcome back to the Legit Day Job podcast. I am Cody.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Kay.
And this is our Legit Day Job.
It's what we do every day for a living, whether we like it or not.
This episode, we're now day 7 of Toho-thon.
Day 7? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Let me, oh, yeah, it's our 15th movie. Yeah, and then that one time we did 3. Yeah. Let me start by issuing an apology.
To our sponsors.
To our sponsors, Wikipedia, Wikizilla. What did I say last episode was our sponsors?
I'm sure you've mentioned YouTube, DoorDash,
Audible, DoorDash. YouTube is not a sponsor. We're the sponsor of YouTube. Please go check out YouTube. You can find them from our video.
They're a nice little
on
startup site. They need all the money they can get.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess they have something
us.
called community guidelines that I have to follow, and I haven't been following those. So I'm sorry. There will be there will be no swearing in this episode. You can be,
but there will be nudity.
There will be nudity.
Oh yeah,
in the thumbnail especially. We won't
Godzilla. Godzilla photos leaked.
I'll also make sure to we won't say any profanity, but it will be in the title of the video and probably the description. Especially the thumbnail. So anyway,
Dogora and Ghidorah, the 3 blank monster. Yeah, that'd be good.
That's not a 3-headed monster. We can say head. Headed.
Part of the human body.
Yeah. In this case, it's part of the monster. Anyway, so we watched Dogora and Ghidorah.
I think they're running out of ideas.
Both 1964.
Yeah, Ishiro Honda did like 20 movies in 1964.
Yeah. Man's a beast. So Dogora, this is the first time even I'd seen it. It's
Ghidorah or Dogora?
Dogora.
Dogora?
Dogora.
I've been calling it Dogora.
Dogora.
You mean Dodra?
No, we've been over this. There's no E in Dogora, thus it's Dogora. So Doggo, the movie. Doggo's Day Out, if you will.
And Ra is the sound he makes.
Ra is in the sun god. Actually, it all makes sense. Doggo, the sun god. The sun god Doggo. That is the literal translation. This was an interesting film.
Everyone's rolling over in their grave right now for making that. They're like, what? This degenerate thinks that we're talking about the sun god?
Especially the dog, Doggo.
The sun god was Gorath.
No.
The actual sun.
Gorath wasn't the sun. That was the asteroid.
Or I thought it was a star core.
The star, sun, meteor. It's
the sun god.
It's all the same.
Okay, anyway, Dogora.
So the gist of this one was basically, in a nutshell, George Clooney reprises his role in Ocean's 11, and the Ocean's 11, they have to go steal a bunch of diamonds, and they steal a whole bunch of diamonds just to find out that they're fake diamonds, and that the real diamond thief was Doggo, the sun god, all along, which is a giant space jellyfish. That honestly is legitimately the plot.
Yes.
A bunch of people try and steal a bunch of diamonds, and a bunch of cops and detectives are like, who's stealing all the diamonds? And it's just this constant heist of stealing diamonds just to reveal that they're not the real diamonds, and that the real diamond thief is a space jellyfish who shows up for maybe 5 minutes of the movie.
Who makes people fly.
Cars fly while they're drunk.
It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen, honestly.
I don't think it was that bad.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. 6-String Samurai probably takes the cake. However,
what?
6-String Samurai.
What is 6-String Samurai?
Oh, we're watching that after we're done with this.
What is that? String cheese?
So 6-String Samurai was probably the worst thing I've ever seen. However, I'm of the thinking it did not take itself too seriously. This movie seemed to take itself seriously, which was sad because it could have very well been like a parody or a satire or something. But no, I think it actually genuinely thought it was a really entertaining plot. Which to some degree it was, but only because I was making fun of it the whole time. And unfortunately, I stayed awake the whole time.
Yeah, you did. You were awake this time.
It sucked, and I wish I fell asleep.
You did. I do give you
because apparently
props for that.
Apparently,
I can't
Ghidorah
give you props for the second one.
Yeah, apparently Ghidorah the three-headed monster was like significantly better, and I fell asleep for that one. Why I don't know. It was like 2 PM, as opposed to like 9 in the afternoon when we, or 9 in the morning.
Yes,
rather,
9 in the afternoon. When we,
yes, 9 in the afternoon when we do shit.
I keep us awake until like 3 AM watching these movies. That's why we fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know what? I just messed up.
And it's 9 AM right now.
Yes.
Cody, I just messed up. You have to redact me.
Why?
Well, I just swore a minute ago. So whatever the time code is, just go back there and, you know.
Anyway.
It's one word. I won't do it.
So
again.
Ocean's 11, the movie. Ocean's 11, 1964.
A lot of back and forth shooting. That's all I
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
most.
Everybody was a stormtrooper.
it wasn't-
Yeah, everybody had like a
wasn't-
gun.
It
Water
definitely
gun.
wasn't what I would consider memorable, but I don't think it was that bad.
Oh, all the BS.
It definitely wasn't as bad as, say, Varen, which I was dreading
Oh.
every minute of it. I
I fell
enjoyed
asleep for
myself.
that one, thank God.
I
You
was
fell asleep
awake
for like
that
all
one.
of these.
Pretty much, yeah.
I fell asleep for this one though. Like I fell asleep twice.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like. Okay, yeah. Too many Shyamalan plot twists. They're like, oh, they're fake diamonds. No, they're real diamonds. No, they're fake again. Yeah, just convenient plot twists. You know. Oh, pulls a gun. Ah, it's a fake gun. Never mind. That's why he wasn't tripping. Like, what is this? You know, like I was so disappointed.
There is this American actor in the film who played, what was his name? Mark Johnson? Was that the character's name?
Mark Jackson.
Mark
I thought they
Jackson.
said Michael Jackson, and then he like literally
That's
that
right.
opening scene, he stole diamonds and got away smooth. So I was like, Mark Jackson, smooth criminal?
He
What?
didn't steal diamonds.
Oh yeah, he stole fake diamonds. That's
Yeah,
right.
No,
Because
he
the
didn't-
doctor was
No,
just
he didn't steal any diamonds.
the doctor was just doing real. He just had real fake diamonds in a bag and was like,
Oh,
oh,
it
in
is
case somebody
Mark
steal
Jackson.
this, you know.
No, it was that was one of the twists, was that he wasn't a thief. He worked for, I don't even
He
remember
worked
what
for
they
some
said.
agency and he was like, we're protecting
He
diamonds.
worked he worked for like the Diamond Association or something like
It's
something
like
to
Diamond
that degree.
Repo,
He was like a
basically, but
G-man,
like,
right?
Yeah, he was a Diamond G-man.
yeah, it's
So
like
he
yeah,
wasn't stealing diamonds. He was trying to
protect them.
protect them,
Even if they're fake.
even if they're fake. Yeah, at the very end, I
because
made
he can
sure
be
to,
because he can be whatever Japan needs.
I made sure
A
to
silent guardian, a
make a
watchful
note
protector.
of this one. The whole so first and foremost, this really isn't a monster movie. Like there's a space jellyfish in it, but it's really inconsequential to the plot.
Yeah, I feel like that was just
This-
that's just what they said to get the funding. Because Toho was like, make a monster movie. They're like, we want to make a crime thriller, but
Yeah.
we'll throw a monster in
They-
there somewhere.
This is a heist movie. I mean, not a heist movie. It's a crime pseudo heist film.
It's a crime parody, but it doesn't know it's a parody. It's an unself-aware.
I wouldn't even say
Crime
I wouldn't say
parody.
it's a parody. It's just a bad crime thriller.
Oh, I'd count it a parody like that because it's like
Well,
it's so
not-
bad it's funny.
It's not
but they
poking.
don't know about it.
It's not poking holes at crime thrillers. It's just a bad crime thriller.
Oh no, that's not what a parody is. That would be like a satire. A parody would just be like just making fun of it,
Well,
not
but-
pointing out
but
flaws.
you go into it.
just making fun of it, just going absurd.
Yeah,
with
but a
things,
parody like is self-aware. Like you're intentionally making fun of it. This one isn't intentionally doing it. They
So
tried
it's
to make
just bad.
yeah, it's just bad.
Well, I'm okay with that because it took itself too seriously. Although it took itself seriously the whole time, and I think that is kind of funny. So
Anyway, yeah, at the very end, I made a note. The final like major plot twist was when Mark Jackson got
smooth
on the
criminal.
plane to go home, and the Japanese detectives were like, "So, what'd you do?" Oh no, it was because like the third act, you know, they the thieves. There's like two like warring thieves groups or whatever, and they're all going after the real diamonds, right? Like a huge, comically sack of diamonds,
Mm-hmm.
and they're fighting over it. And then the Japanese detectives are joining in, and Mark Jackson's in there doing his Mark Jackson thing. And then, you know, the bad guys don't get the diamonds, yay! And then a again, it cuts to the very end where Mark Jackson's on the plane and the police detectives are like, so we investigated those diamonds we saved and they were fake too. Mark Jackson was like, oh yeah, none of those diamonds are real. I hid the real ones. And then just cut to black. And I was like, what? None of that.
So he is a smooth criminal.
No, he's not a criminal. He just basically said that at no point were any diamonds in any actual danger outside of the space jellyfish.
So why?
The whole plot kind of fell apart.
Yeah, why was he even there? Why was he concerned about anything? Because he'd be like, let them kill each other over these fake diamonds. I don't give a damn, like my dude. They obviously don't know how to write a twist plot. They took notes from M. Night Shyamalan.
I also
I do want to note
what?
As I was writing my notes, the Dogora monster effects I actually liked.
Yeah, they were really good.
While I was writing Dogora monster effects, I was gonna put jellyfish in the sky, and then I was like, oh, you could say it's a jelly in the sky with diamonds.
What?
Beatles song, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Ugh, you uncultured swine. All right, whatever. The audience got it.
Is that the noodle scene?
What?
Is that the noodle scene?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was.
It was basically a giant jellyfish in the sky, and I was like, it's like eating up diamonds. So I'm like, yeah, the jelly in the sky with diamonds effects was really, really good. I thought it looked real pretty.
Don't forget the bees.
Oh yeah, whatever the hell that was.
Something about the bees and
that was supposedly the way to defeat the space jellyfish was I guess the venom that bees, or I guess more specifically wasps produce is like the one thing that neutralizes it and instantly kills it. So they like gather like a whole bunch of wasps.
I think this was the one time
like
they didn't
shoot it out at the monsters.
I know why this movie was so bad. It was like the one time they didn't bring in some sort of social commentary about not using nuclear warfare. They were like, it's just something from space, and then it all fell apart right there.
That was clearly the reason why it was. Yeah. If they had said maybe like these diamonds are radioactive, like the stakes would have been raised so much.
Absolutely, yeah,
would have been so much better. We can't let these criminals get these diamonds because they're gonna convert it into a nuclear bomb. Well. There you go. That's tension right there.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of like how every Transformers movie after the first one fell apart because suddenly they just forgot what Transformers was all about.
Suddenly they just forgot how to write a script.
No, they just forgot what Transformers was all about. It's take care of your car and don't pollute the earth, otherwise they'll turn against you.
Captain Planet, not Transformers. Anyway,
the big blue guy with a little accent of red is the leader. I mean, I thought it was the same thing.
The most jarring part of this film that I made note of was the fact that I don't know, maybe it was just me, but it seemed to me like the script treated diamonds as the only currency on the planet because I don't know what it was about diamonds in this film, but they like. All right. Here's specifics. I wrote down specifics, like over the course of the film.
Mm-hmm.
At first, they're like diamonds all over the world are disappearing, and this causes like some international disaster. And then you got the plot thread with Ocean's 11 trying to steal diamonds constantly. They're like Team Rocket here, going after these diamonds. They fail the first time, and they just keep pulling off these ridiculous heists where they get in shootouts where no one gets hit.
Oh, and nobody knows how to handle a shootout too. One dude like tried to get it was like two guys and they were like behind cover, and then the leader guy's like retreat. So the second guy walks out into the line of fire, and just like full on kind of half crouching, just walks out there and then crosses over instead of going around the other way where you won't get shot. So these guys are clearly noobs.
I don't even
just
know,
like Team Rocket.
I don't even know which scene you're referring to because that sounds like the truck every shootout.
The truck shoot. Well, okay, yeah, good point.
Every shootout, everyone's just kind of like casually standing around and shooting. Like
dude, that one where they're like chucking dynamite at each other and then like nobody got blown up. It was like it took a giant rock from space to crush those bad guys. Luckily, all at once. It wasn't like a one rock that kind of fell and hit one dude in the head and maybe gave him a concussion.
It's because they were grouped up.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like.
Anyway,
this is such a stupid plot.
So going back to the diamond obsession, you had Ocean's 11, Team Rocket, You had the worldwide crisis, which is that diamonds are being stolen. Not that they've just all magically disappeared off the face of the earth. They're just being stolen. You got a scientist. This plot thread kind of goes nowhere, like a lot of these plot threads that I'm going to mention in a second. But you got the scientist who's researching diamonds, specifically diamonds, to create artificial diamonds, specifically diamonds, with the hopes of it retaining the same monetary value as real diamonds.
What?
You don't remember that? That
No.
was early on in the film. Remember when Mark Johnson was like just randomly in the old guy's house?
Mark Jackson, the smooth criminal.
That's right, Mark Jackson. I don't know why I keep calling him Mark Johnson. I don't know.
That's a person, though.
Is it? Anyway,
Give me a second.
anyway, yeah, no, the beginning, yeah, you don't remember? It was the old guy, and the detective shows up, and then the detective.
I don't remember why he was looking at fake diamonds, because like.
No, yeah, he said, yeah, I'm trying to create fake diamonds. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he said I'm trying to create artificial diamonds, is what he said, and that he was that's why he was like.
Oh, dude, the NSA's been listening in on this whole podcast because I type in Mark Jackson, first thing that comes up.
Oh, nice.
And then Mark Jackson.
I don't think
Mark
that's
Jackson
the
Orville.
NSA. I think Google's just listening. As
And
they
then
always
I type
do.
in J.O. Mark Johnson. Here we go.
They hacked into our phones and listening.
Mark Johnson, American ice hockey coach.
Ah, yes, that sounds exactly like the same guy in the movie. So Mark Johnson.
No,
He's
it's Mark
hiding it.
Jackson.
Mark Johnson is
I hate you.
the what'd you say? Canadian hockey player? That's not what you said.
American ice hockey player.
It's
Oh,
close
hold
enough.
on. There's also Mark Johnson, who's a film producer.
Oh, even better. Mark Johnson, the film producing hockey player. So he's
Yeah.
in this old Japanese guy's house.
Well, he won
And the
Best Picture
Japanese
for-
guy is like, I'm gonna create artificial diamonds and rule the world. He doesn't say that part, but
He
he
might-
says I'm gonna create artificial diamonds.
He won Best Picture Academy Award for
Dogora.
producing 88 drama.
Dogora.
Rain Man.
Well, for what?
Rain Man.
Oh, Rain Man.
Yeah.
Raining diamonds.
He also did the Chronicles of Narnia movies, The Notebook,
This is clearly
Downsizing, Good Morning Vietnam.
Obviously
just
the same person.
classics. Absolutely. He used his diamonds to pay for these movies.
Yes. The diamonds that he clearly stole.
Very smooth.
It's such a smooth
and then-
criminal. Michael Jackson was like, I'm gonna name myself after this guy, except it's not gonna be Mark.
The
'cause
best part,
copyright.
the best part for me on the subject of the diamond obsession, the diamond fetish, if you will, was the fact that the armored truck scene that you were just talking about. So you have this like armored truck, like I forget what the actual companies are. You know, like the big like armored trucks that deliver like cash.
I don't even think it was it an armored truck? I thought it was just a truck.
Just as a it was it
No,
wasn't.
I thought it was just a truck, kind of like a coal truck, like where it just kind of carries it like in the back.
Yeah, no, but
like
it
the
was
top is open, but it was just diamonds.
yeah, but it wasn't like a normal truck though. It was closer to something akin to an armored truck.
Okay, I'm mistaken then. I guess
Oh.
I thought it was. I thought it was just full of diamonds
I
in the back,
only-
like as if it was sand or something. That
I
they're carrying,
only
you know?
I only remember that it was closer to an armored truck because I remember Ocean's 11 had to like take like a plasma cutter to open the back doors.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, you have this big heavy truck, you know, with like two guards in the front kind of thing, and in the back, yeah, it's nothing but diamonds, but it's not even like a coal mine cart.
Mhm.
It's this comically large suitcase, like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like the entire like it's like chained down to the back. It's the
yes.
sole thing back there. It's like a coffin like sized suitcase full of nothing but raw diamonds.
Beautiful.
No one what
Beautiful.
and then you know you have the space jellyfish who admittedly
Oh, it was a gorgeous space jellyfish.
it was and admittedly it wasn't specifically going after diamonds. It was just going after carbon.
I think it was
in general.
I think it was going after my worst fears because I knew from day one when we watched Gojira, I was like, well, these are all Japanese. Cody, how many are there? You're like 50. I'm like, okay, well, there's gonna be tentacles at some point. And surely enough, 10 years into this marathon, there were tentacles. So I'm excited for the next
You mean
50.
noodles?
Sorry,
Noodles.
55 years. No,
If you want tentacles, just stay
tentacles.
tuned. That's coming.
Oh no. Was there really tentacles in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster?
No.
No.
Oh, good.
No.
Thank
No.
God. I was going to say, did I miss that? Did I
No.
fall asleep during the best movie?
Let's see. Some other things I wrote down. Oh, the detectives in this film were horrible. I don't know. This is why like I'm so confused on the script for this one. Because
They were about as good at detectives as...
no, not in the sense of how they were written as detectives. I mean specifically that it takes them no time at all to just instantly jump to the conclusion that there's a monster from space stealing all the diamonds in the world. and everyone buys into that instantly.
Oh, yeah, I think that's just Japan being like, what? Well, we've had 20 Godzillas, we've had like 5 Mothras, we've had like little tiny miniature Asian twins.
Even
we've had
the last film, or the last
a dinosaur
Godzilla crossovers, it hasn't taken them. Even like everyone,
King Kong,
everyone might recognize like in like these films, like like a Godzilla movie. Everyone might like know what Godzilla is, but no one instantly jumps to the conclusion that a ship blew up. It's got to be Godzilla. Yeah, maybe there's one guy, but everyone's like, no, you're stupid. And then Godzilla shows up, and then those people are usually the ones that die by Godzilla personally. In this one, it's just like out of nowhere. The main Japanese detective, I don't remember the character's name, but
I don't remember any of their names.
Out of nowhere, with no evidence whatsoever. This is like 15, 20 minutes into the movie, mind you. When we haven't even, I don't even think we've seen Dogora.
No, we haven't.
No, we just seen it splatters.
Yeah, he just out of nowhere goes to the chief or whatever, and he's like, "Sir, this clearly is a monster from space."
Yeah, which is like,
and then the chief's like, you know what? I think you're right, and they just run with it, and then everyone's like, Dogora.
But also remember the like worst detective in the world, our main character, was like somehow still employed after the first 5 minutes when Mark Jackson, the smooth criminal, just like basically chopped him dead with his Vulcan hand, and then just walked out, and he was like, sorry about this doctor who was, trying to make fake diamonds. I already took your real diamonds. There ain't nothing here. I ain't even gonna steal these. I'm gonna just dip later. And the doctor was kind of cool with it. And then he scolds the detective. He's like, "What? You didn't know he knew judo? What? They don't teach you how to be a karate master at the PD?" And
clearly not. I mean,
and then he like degrades him in front of this, this like secretary or whatever he has, and then. And then the cop was like, "Oh, he got the drop on me," and the old man's like, "Ha, no, you just suck," And I was like, "This is definitely what would happen. Like, if you were that bad of a detective, I'd scold you until you just quit." I mean, or you went and jumped in, or you went and just let Dogora take you with his tentacles. Like it's also effective.
It's honestly, it's fair. I'd say. I mean, who honestly can say that they're better than the Diamond Association or whatever they were called?
Me.
What?
Me. First of all, I wouldn't come up with such a stupid plot. So if I was the Diamond Association, I wouldn't make things complicated. I'd just whack anybody in my way with my karate judo hand.
And that's clearly
I'd just take the diamonds and go.
That's clearly what Mark Johnson did. Did you not watch the part where he like karate chopped like the entire Ocean's 11?
Mark Jackson.
Mark Johnson.
Mark Jackson.
Johnson.
Mark.
This
Johnson.
Karate expert.
And we're
Joker, Jack of all trades,
Jackson of all trades,
the lumberjackson of diamonds.
Mikey Jackson.
Let's see. Unfortunately, the creature effects were really good. And I say unfortunately because they were legitimately only in there for like 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was
maybe. Because the whole thing with Dogora itself was that they're like, it was like a, what did they say? It was like a cell or something like that.
Yeah, like space cell.
Yeah, it was like a single cell organism from space, which sure, like
given whatever.
Yeah, it's what I can believe that. It's not the most far-fetched thing I've heard, especially from a Toho Kaiju film.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you would hear in one of our monster movies. It's not that far off, and that it's absorbing carbon to grow and multiply. Again, fine, like okay.
I mean, at least it was alive and it had like a purpose. I mean, better than Transformers.
Yeah, which were not only not alive, but neither was the crew apparently.
Nobody was alive except maybe Shia LaBeouf, who like gave a damn like for the first movie, and then he kind of phoned it in for the next 2 and just got a massive paycheck because Michael Bay doesn't know what he's.
You talking about Shia LaBeouf or Michael Bay?
No, Michael Bay. No. Shia LaBeouf, he tried the first one. I'll give him props. 2 and 3, he kind of just phoned it in. And then Michael Bay was like, "Oh, yeah, that's good. Just more explosions. And then it's fine."
Michael Bay was the one who phoned it in.
Oh, Michael Bay's been phoning it in from like day one after what, The Rock maybe? Even The Rock, he probably phoned it in, but
Anyway, Yeah, the creature effects when they grow into the full size space jellyfish, they look really good, genuinely impressive. And then they disappear, and then it just goes back to floating space rocks for the very end.
Yeah, which is why I give it a 3 out of 10. I think we're done with Dogora. 3 out of 10.
Did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, not really. My score is 2 out of 10.
I was a little more generous because it was funny. I was gonna give it a 2, but then I was like, maybe I could give it a 1. And then I was like, nah, it was low key funny. I'll give it a 3. It was only funny because I was making fun of it.
Again, it wasn't the worst thing I'd seen. It definitely wasn't the worst.
It was
Toho
not
film.
6 String Samurai, but you know.
I'd say its worst crime was it's not a very memorable. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just,
I'm gonna remember it forever.
you can
Mostly because I stayed awake the whole time.
Jesus Christ.
Your score?
What?
Your score?
I give it. Let's see now. I give it.
How many space jellyfish in the sky with diamonds do you give it?
How many noodles?
How many tentacles? How many tentacles can you take, Cody? I don't know if I can say that.
Or what you call the rocks? Gushers?
Yes, I was
Falling
like,
gushers.
yeah. At the end, when the rocks are falling from the sky, because they're like killing Dogora or something, and all the diamonds like come back down, but they're like not diamonds anymore. They're just big, giant, colorful rocks, and one of those crushes like the entire Ocean's 11 crew, and I was laughing so hard because I'm like, it's like gushers just coming out of the sky, like big old rock-shaped colored things. You know, I was waiting for one to burst open with like jelly and then cover everyone in like colored jelly, and then they're like, what does it taste like? Diamonds, you know, and then like I would have just laughed so hard, and then it's just suddenly like Gushers just superimposed on the screen. It's just all an ad for Gushers, an hour and a half.
That was the twist.
Yeah, that's the biggest twist right there. They're talking about Gushers the whole time. It's a social commentary. Gushers are going to be the number one and only one currency in the world.
Well, apparently not according to this film, which is diamonds.
No, that's what I was saying. Was it's all an allegory for Gushers. Gushers will be diamonds.
Another oddity of this film, which might just speak to what I mean by it's neither good nor bad. It's just kind of forgotten.
It just exists.
It just exists. I have absolutely no info on this film. No budget, no box office, no trivia, no production facts, nothing.
Good. That saves us time. Your score?
Pass.
Good. All right. Next one. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. I can actually turn my mic off now because my score is not applicable because I fell the F asleep, as it says here in my notes. Can you guys hear that?
I think you got like 10 minutes in before you apparently just got
like
knocked
5
out.
minutes.
No, it was a solid 10, 15 minutes.
You were comatose for like
Yeah, you were gone.
the whole movie.
Yeah, I was done.
So Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Also directed by Ishiro Honda,
In 1964.
The trifecta in 1964. Okay, if anything, going back to Dogora real quick, that's probably the only thing I could say is that it wasn't supposed to come out in 1964. Apparently it was supposed to come out in 60, I think 2. But
wait, why would it being longer?
I have no idea.
Worse?
I have no idea. That's what I mean.
Interesting.
There's no info on it. I could only confirm that it was supposed to come out, I think, in 62. I didn't even write that down, so I don't know for a fact what the year was. But it was supposed to come out a couple years earlier, but for some reason it didn't. There's a couple other things that I saw, but I could they weren't cited. Like I couldn't find a source for them, so I didn't even bother writing them down. But yeah, there's no official no official information I could find on it. So anyway, Ghidorah, three-headed monster. Yeah, also 1964. Impressively, unlike Dogora, which just released in 64, this one was, I believe,
written, shot, edited, and released in 2 months.
I don't know about 2 months.
Damn.
I could be wrong, but this might be the only case in all these Toho films where they did pump out 2 films back to back in the same year, because this one and Mothra vs. Godzilla came out within 1 year in 1964. Basically, as soon as Mothra vs. Godzilla came out, they immediately cranked this one out.
Well, yeah, so it's basically the same head crew Probably mostly the same actors too.
I don't.
That's
mean,
why it's impressive is that they got through 2 in the same year. They just rapid production.
And I don't mean filmed back to back as in like
Released
it was
later,
no, I don't mean like it was a planned 2-part film. I mean Mothra vs. Godzilla came out, the reception was so good that they immediately just jumped the gun on this one
and just went, "Hey, Ghidorah, go!" You know?
Yeah. Ghidorah, the 3-headed monster.
That could be an anime.
Another classic
Ghidorah,
of the Showa Godzilla films. This one is iconic, if nothing else, for introducing Godzilla's main nemesis, his main antagonist throughout the entire franchise, Ghidorah, King Ghidorah. The plot of this one's a little iffy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the plot being this iffy. I remember a lot about this film. I don't remember.
I remember nothing of this film.
That's
Are
a
you
given.
sure about that?
So the plot of this film then, Sean.
This is all for you.
This is all for you, buddy.
I am the vehicle for the audience now.
Yes. Yeah. Allow yourself to be the host.
I am your servant.
I am your legit eyes.
Your legit servant.
So it starts off much like actually a couple of these films. This film introduces yet another like just random fictitious foreign nation. I don't even remember what this one was called though.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I do remember a little bit of this. It was like some princess, right?
I'm going to call them the Shakespeareans because it was almost like they just raided a Shakespearean wardrobe for their costumes. Because like everyone was wearing like these really like Shakespearean clothing. I just don't remember what their nation, their country, whatever I don't remember what they're called.
Remember.
But the gist of it was that they had a princess who was traveling to Japan for reasons I don't think we ever know. And
because they wanted to kill her.
No, not Japan. That's right.
Oh.
It introduces 2 fictitious nations that are warring. Because there's the princess and then there's the assassins, who are the guys with the sunglasses.
Oh yeah.
That means they're evil.
The Men in Black.
Yeah, the Men in Black. As we'll refer to them from now on. So you got the Shakespeareans and the Men in Black, and Japan, and the monsters. So anyway, the plot is
Sounds like the Avengers.
The Shakespearean. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I should have mentioned. Yeah, this is we watched the Avengers 1964, also known as Ghidorah, the 3-headed monster. So the Shakespearean princess, she's traveling to Japan, and then her plane, like on a private plane, and the plane blows up, but she jumps out because something told her to.
Oh, she survives.
She survives.
No parachute needed.
Nope, she just jumps out of the ocean and she magically survives.
Are we talking about the pretty chick?
I don't know.
The princess?
The princess. The
one
Shakespearean
the one with
princess.
the hat later who's like, everyone get off the mountain.
Yeah, that one.
And then the dude like drops his hat and he's like, well, I can't go get it. And the other guy's like, I'll get you 700 yen.
Yeah.
I mean 500. I mean 200. That's a deal. And then like it just was, I was really hoping that she was like, hey, get off the volcano. Because it was gonna like Mount St. Helens, like just everyone goes sky high in like a split second. But no, it wasn't.
She was saying. Anyway,
I guess that was too hard to film or something.
We'll get to that in a second. So yeah, the princess disappears. Cut to plot thread number 2, which is I think it was implied that this was also due to what caused the plane to explode. A bunch of meteorites just kind of crash onto Japan. And they're really weird meteorites. They're space meteorites. And so a group of scientists decide to go hike out into the woods to investigate one of those meteorites.
Oh, I hate you.
Cut to plot thread number 3, which is the Shakespearean princess shows up again, except now she claims she's from Venus, and like no joke, she says I'm from Venus and I can see the future. You're all going to die. Get out of here.
I don't remember that. That sounds kind of cool, actually. That's kind of relatable for me. I'm from Uranus.
I said Venus.
I know. I said I'm from Uranus.
Okay.
It's a relatable story.
Okay.
It's like The Godfather. He's like, I came from Italy, and I'm like, well,
Sure.
I came from hell. So you know.
That's the plot thread I remember. I don't remember any of the other weird stuff. But so yeah, that's kind of the movie. Is that she just kind of goes around and says, our Venus, our highly civilized nation on Venus was eradicated by a giant monster, and now it's here, you're all going to die.
And it went into the sea, and you guys are, coming across it with your space drill.
She was talking about King Ghidorah, which was surprise plot twist. The weird space meteorite that was King Ghidorah.
Oh wow!
So she was basically saying y'all are gonna die. You need to get out of here. You need to leave.
So Ghidorah,
and she just kind of goes around and basically she's basically the Nick Fury of this film. Like I'm not kidding when I say this is basically the Avengers, because this basically was the Avengers. This was the film where Toho decided, all right, we've done crossovers before with King Kong and Mothra, but
now we're really gonna
at this point. Well, because at this point, the big four like monsters that Toho own, like the four most recognizable, most popular monsters they own is Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. Granted, this film introduced King Ghidorah, but at this point,
well, that's fine. It's basically
what I mean is at this point, Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan had already been established as like their most popular, iconic properties.
Yeah. So it's basically it's
they decided,
Avengers. They have so they got Captain America, they got Thor, and they got Iron Man.
Yeah.
But then they introduce
a new monster.
No, I was gonna say they introduce basically Black Widow and Hawkeye. Like they got some character development there. They got none in their previous
some to that extent.
I'll call them one person because we all know how Black Widow and Hawkeye are. They're just
So yeah, this film.
Person.
Yeah, so Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, was Well,
Ghidorah would be more like the Chitauri in that regard, or Loki even.
Oh well.
Point is this is
Civil War. Then it's like Civil War.
This is the film where they bring together. They cross over their three most popular properties, and they make them team up against one monster. Because in this one, it was Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan versus King Ghidorah. It was a 1v3. The
three-headed monster still won.
The chick from Venus, really, like she's just there to kind of meander around and kind of be like, hey, Rodan's in this mountain, guys. You're still gonna die. But Rodan's about to come out because it's about that time in the script. So you guys need to get out of here. Hey, Godzilla, don't get on that ship because it's about time for Godzilla to show up in the script. You're still gonna die from King Ghidorah, but you're really gonna die if you get on that ship.
You see, the best part was you guys think that she was acting, that she was actually just an extra who they would constantly film because she was crazy. And she was like, hey, extras, you guys don't know where you're supposed to be right now because the script calls for this, and then the extras wouldn't listen to her because the director just kind of gave up. And then things happened, and she was like, "Well, I told you so. That's a bad take." But then they left it in, and then she became the prophet. She was telling all the extras, "Hey, don't do that because it's this point in the script," and the extras just never read the script, so they don't know. And then Rodan comes in and like, I don't know.
Anyway,
flaps its wings and blows them away, and then like Godzilla breathes on him. And
that's the general plot of Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Really, like broken down like that. It's a really simple setup. It's an effective setup to get to a 3v1.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of details that I skipped out on for the sake of the recap. That just kind of it's the stuff I don't remember that was really odd. But anyway, so okay, what'd you think of Ghidorah, the three-headed monster?
Well, speaking of the princess, didn't they nobody believed her? They all thought she was like crazy.
That's one of those things that I was talking about. Like, yeah, like again, her role in the film in terms of the script was basically just to set up all the monsters, essentially.
And no one believed her.
Yeah, and yet they spend an awful lot of time trying to help this poor delusional woman.
They even introduce shock therapy.
Yeah, they introduce shock
try to
therapy.
Cure her mind. She's mental.
Yeah, she keeps going around saying, I'm from Venus, and everyone's like,
no, you're not.
Yeah, okay. And then they basically kidnap her, essentially, and they try and forcibly treat this poor woman's mental status because she keeps saying she's from Venus. That's where the Shakespearean princess plot thread comes back into play, because they're like, you're not from Venus, you're this lady. And she goes, no, I'm from Venus. And they go, okay, we're going to shock you until you say otherwise. And she still goes, I'm from Venus.
And then those men in black come and try to
Yeah, and then the men in black come. It's a lot of really weird plot threads that really don't need to be there. But anyway, there was that.
Why didn't they believe her?
Because who would believe someone when they say they're from Venus?
Nobody believes me when I say I'm from Uranus, but
can you predict the future?
No, I can see the past though.
Well, okay. So
Well, you need some shock therapy.
We're
clearly
close
you need to
close
be-
to we're close to you Earth people in that regard.
you're right. We don't.
The difference is we see it happen in real time, even though it already happened
You
in real
see-
time. But
Yeah.
you guys just write about it.
Wait. You're saying that you see history in real time?
I do.
How does that? What? How does that work? Explain this to me, please.
Right now, I can see you and me sitting in that little back room that was going to be our sound studio, and we're
Drawing out all the schematics.
No, I'm seeing us. You're playing Kingdom Hearts, and you're getting dominated by the
Kingdom Hearts Birth
secret
by
bosses.
Sleep. Yes,
yeah.
that was such a fun time. That was,
And
wasn't
then
it?
and then I'm watching Raiders of the Lost Ark.
So you're
that's what I'm
telling me.
seeing.
So if this is real time,
It's happening right now.
Does that imply that your history vision is like 2 months lagging behind, like a live stream?
No, it kind of jumps around.
So it's not live then.
No, it's not live. It's just in
Real time.
Yeah,
But it jumps around.
Wait,
hence
no,
not real time.
but like when the
the
when I
logic,
get a-
the logic,
when I get a vision,
the logic of your history is confusing. Thus, you need shock therapy.
You mean real time in your head?
yeah. It's
In
not
your-
like fragmented. It's like it's playing out continuously and then it'll stop.
Fragmented, like Kingdom Hearts, Birth by Sleep, a fragmented passage.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no.
Oh, I see. It all
see
connects.
It all
Right
connects now.
Right now, you're taking on the guy with the hood and the big old sickle thing.
Which guy with the hood? There's like 13,
Oh yeah, that's right. The little
26,
small
50
guy with the
guys.
round head.
Mickey Mouse.
Was that who it was?
A little small guy with a round head. Did he have round ears?
No, he didn't have any ears. It was just
Just a small round guy.
a small round guy, no face. It was just a big old black
So
hood.
I was fighting a fat kid. Okay.
And it was in the desert. It was in the desert. There were some tornadoes or something you were trying to
Desert?
avoid. And you were
a small round kid in the desert with tornadoes.
Sounds like
What?
Dragon Ball Z.
obviously you weren't
Yeah.
paying attention when you were playing. Yeah, in the desert there were some tornadoes.
No, I remember in Birth by Sleep the Keyblade Graveyard, which is a desert with tornadoes. I don't remember fighting any short round
Are you sure
kid.
it's not your memories getting
Yeah,
mixed
It's
yeah.
up with?
round ahead. You're not listening to me because you think I'm
round
from
head.
Uranus and you think I'm crazy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So shock therapy for him then cranked up
Yes.
to a million volts or whatever they said in the movie.
Yeah, not
A million
40.
volts.
Not-
Yeah. Well, the
blow
so,
my head up.
Yeah. So in the film when they're giving her shock therapy, it's like really minor shock therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But naturally they have one of those comically large like dials to dial in how much electricity they pump into her, but it's in like a different room.
Mm-hmm.
So the men in black just kind of show up and they're like, they just crank it up to it was like a million. I think they said a
Scratch
million
head.
volts.
Okay.
Scratch
so.
head and then twist dial because they don't know what
Basically-
it's doing.
Basically, it was and like none of the doctors knew because it was in a different room, of course.
They're like, does this turn up the volume on that elevator music? And then just, in the other
And then the
room.
shootout happens.
And then there's another shootout. It's just so many shootouts.
And then the doctor puts on her clothes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the doctor puts on her clothes. Granted, she's wearing an old sailor's
What?
clothes.
Wait.
Yeah, you missed. You
You missed a lot.
Was
you
there like
really missed out.
was there like softcore porn going on?
No,
in this movie too?
no.
No.
She's wearing an old sailor's uniform.
Was it truly the Avengers where Scarlett Johansson's just eye candy in a tight suit? Like,
I mean,
yeah,
minus the
okay.
eye candy.
The doctor's
I
actually
mean,
a
she
dude.
is wearing black.
She's
a
wearing black,
dress.
but it's. I mean, this is the 60s here. Like they're like, it's not quite as.
You ever seen Doctor No? That was real risque. James Bond sleeps around with, like, 5
What
different
part of
women
I've
in
only
that
seen
movie.
Skyfall? Don't you seem to comprehend?
Oh,
So anyway,
God, you uncultured swine.
so what else?
Anyways,
Did
the monsters. My favorite part.
hold on. We'll get to the.
Okay.
I want to save the monsters stuff specifically.
For what last?
Well, just so we're not completely fragmented on our notes here.
You mean fragmented like Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep?
A fragmentary passage, yeah. Let's save all the monster stuff for its just its own giant
Ball.
monster brawl. Let's see. Let me look over
Its
my
own
notes
Battle
real
of New
quick.
York.
See if
I'm
there's
sorry,
anything else.
Newkirk.
Wow, I took a lot of notes on the monster stuff.
You must have
Yeah,
really enjoyed it.
The rest of it is monsters for me.
Basically,
That's
I mean,
pretty much it for the princess. And she gains her memory back, right? At the
She
end.
does. I guess that's the most significant note I have that isn't about any of the monsters is that this is I mistakenly mentioned when we talked about Doggo, the movie, that it had a lot of plot threads that went nowhere. I accidentally mistook that for Ghidorah. Ghidorah has a lot of plot threads that go absolutely nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
The princess thing, that goes nowhere. In fact, that just kind of drags on.
Yeah,
I felt like they could have just cut that all together and just made
it was
her.
It was all character development.
It wasn't even that.
This strong, independent foreign princess.
No, it
had
really
to find her memory and her true self.
No,
and then she did.
She didn't find her
it
memory,
really
though.
wasn't.
She just gets it back.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
All payoff, no setup.
It seriously like wasn't anything like that. Her character was just a princess, but then 3 minutes into her being introduced as a princess, she's now Venus Lady, and she remains Venus Lady until the last like 2 minutes of the movie. That's what I mean by this. That plot there kind of went nowhere, and all it served to do was introduce the Men in Black, who just kind of interrupted the pace of the whole film. So I feel like they could have just.
I think Ashiro
cut
Honda's
that.
losing his touch.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him so much. I blame the script writers. I mean, him as the director. Like the film itself, overall, was really well directed. I feel like a lot of these problems could probably be blamed on the fact that it was pumped out so quickly. If this came out in '65, it
might have been better.
Might have been tightened up a little. I don't know.
I don't know. I just think maybe he's just taking jobs now because he can and he just wants to. But like,
I don't think.
I don't know. I feel like he should probably read the scripts and go, that don't make no sense. I'll pass.
This isn't exactly the same film environment that we have. It's actually.
So wait, so you telling me he's just like chained to a wall and they're like, you're gonna make this script whether you like it or not, and then he does?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, he's
very
shock.
kinky there.
Yeah, you give him shock therapy if he refuses.
He had to let out all of his tension, his repressed tension in Dogora.
No,
with the tentacles.
This is more. This actually
him ripping up the bridge. That was an allegory for.
It's more closer to actually how like, funnily enough, how something like Marvel or Disney operates today, where Toho's the one like saying we need another one,
and Disney's like we need another one. Yeah.
Please don't do that again.
Do that again and sing.
Hiya, folks! We're gonna give you another Marvel movie.
Anyway,
Oh my
back to Ghidorah. Yeah. So the princess thing that I felt like could have been cut altogether. The Venus part was the only interesting like human drama aspect that was interesting, but it wasn't really played up. Like again, it kind of just it's irrelevant at the end of the day.
It's just a thing.
It's just a thing. It's an interesting thing, but it's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
So they either could have cut it or made it more relevant, in my opinion. In the same way, I know I said we're gonna save the monster stuff for last, but it's kind of relevant at this point. The Venus plot thread is just as irrelevant, unfortunately, as King Ghidorah itself, who just kind of flies away at the very end. Like no one wins.
Yeah, no one wins.
No, like the monsters, they kind of just Ghidorah kicks their ass and they kick Ghidorah's ass, and then Ghidorah just flies off, and then Venus Lady just kind of disappears, and then the movie ends. It's all unfortunately inconsequential. Things just happen, and then the movie ends.
They're sequel baiting.
It's not even
They're like,
that.
oh, you
really.
want resolution? We'll give you resolution. 10 years down the line, come back for Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster
Part 2.
Electric Kaiju Boogaloo. Yeah.
Come back for Ghidorah the Six-Headed Dragon.
Ghidorah the Six-Headed Monster returns.
Ghidorah the Three-Squared Dragon. And anyway, so yeah, the Venus plot thread.
Ghidorah 32.
It was interesting, but I feel like it just kind of went nowhere. They also reintroduced the twins for Mothra's sake, and
oh yeah, that was stupid. I do remember I was awake for that. Like, isn't like a talk show or a
I didn't mind
game show.
Yeah,
These two kids were like, "We want to see Mothra," and like the audience is laughing because they're like, "Ha, you dumb pieces of." I can't say it, but
nice, nice save into another dead end.
And then they were like, then the hosts were like, "Oh, you funny kids. Well, we can't do that for you, but we can give you the peanuts." And then they do, and then they show up, and then they're like, "Okay, cool, but we're not going to sing Mothra's song. We're going to sing a different song with actual lyrics." Yeah. And then that was it. End of story. It was just a little cameo. They're like, "Yep, cinematic universe."
They show up again several times throughout the film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I only saw them that once.
Yeah, no, their introduction was weird. I don't mind them being in the film because unlike everything else, they have a point.
That was their last appearance, by the way. I think the next time those twins show up, they're
Peanuts,
recast.
The Peanuts specifically. The twins are in plenty more films.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Anyway,
Japan won't let it go.
Yeah, I didn't mind their role in the film, which was basically the mitigator. But their introduction was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird. I think it is worth noting that I'll save it. I think that's all I got for the human stuff. So you want to get into the monster stuff?
Yes.
All right.
Ready.
Would you like to just start it off?
We could start off with Mothra.
You want to start off with Mothra?
It started out well. Besides Ghidorah already breaking out from the.
You know what? Let's take this in chronological order because I don't know about you. That's how I wrote my notes.
Mine is like Mothra is the only chill monster.
The only monster I even saw was Rodan.
That's because that was like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
At which point you passed out. It's funny you passed out then because if you just held out just a couple minutes longer, you'd have seen Godzilla. It was almost immediate after that.
I didn't see Godzilla. I didn't see Mothra. I didn't see
Ghidorah.
Ghidorah. Yeah, I don't even know what Ghidorah looks like now. I'm just picturing a three-headed monster. I'm picturing the thing from Percy Jackson.
I'll circle back to that when I get to my trivia notes. Anyway, what I didn't remember was the opening credits. They kind of spoil things. I don't remember that. The opening credits. I mean, when you hear a name like Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, I don't. Unless obviously you're familiar with it, but in context of you guys watching it for the first time, I don't think you guys were expecting a 3v1.
No.
And the opening credits just kind of like they instantly start off showing, here's Godzilla, here's Rodan, here's Mothra, here's Ghidorah. That's the film. And they like show clips from the final fight, which kind of like that. Oh,
so they took after the Terminator trailers. I see. Okay.
Yes.
You don't watch trailers. I don't watch trailers. Cody doesn't watch trailers because he's an uncultured swine.
I don't watch trailers for movies I know I'm going to see. There's a difference.
I thought you were going to say because he's an uncle.
So the last two Terminator movies, Salvation and Genesis, respectively.
I saw the Genesis trailer.
Well, but yeah, so they've both just flat out spoiled the biggest twist of the movie each.
Well, the Genesis trailer did a bit more than spoil the twist. The Genesis trailer just flat out just
told you the movie.
Just summarized the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
it's one of the that was the final nail in the coffin of why I never bothered to watch Genesis because I saw the trailer. I didn't need to spend money to go see the movie.
Yeah,
just watch it for free on YouTube.
And Emilia Clarke wasn't naked in it, so that's what Game of Thrones is for. This movie had nothing on Game of Thrones, so. Anyways. So you're saying they took after the Terminator trailers? They were just like, hey. Here's the movie.
I mean, it's
You're
not
gonna sit for an hour and a half.
The opening credits don't spoil like the movie. I'm just saying.
Well, they just show you the monsters.
They show you the monsters, which I feel like kind of ruins half the fun of. Well, I mean, that's realizing that this is like the Avengers. I mean,
okay, so it's more like the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where they were just like, hey, by the way, we're gonna show you Rhino and the Goblin.
Well, okay,
no spoilers.
Put it in this context, right? Imagine if in the first Avengers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Putting aside any trailers, anything like that, you go and watch the movie. And the opening credits just show a bunch of stills from the New York fight at the very end.
I mean,
here's the Hulk, and it shows the Hulk saving Iron Man or something like that. Here's Iron Man. It shows Iron Man carrying a nuke or something like that. Yeah. Here's Captain, and it shows stills of all these characters in like the final fight, and then like stills of them like all together. Yeah, it shows like it shows
the Hulk like smashing Loki into the
something like that. That's kind of. I mean, it wasn't that extreme, but it still was like, oh, okay, like this. It kind of spoiled a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not saying it was anything too extreme. I doubt it was that big a deal to either of you. Obviously, you didn't even notice.
Well,
I mean, I didn't
knew it
notice
was
too much.
Yeah.
No, I did. I was awake for the credits. I mean the opening credits. I did actually. Well, hold on, wait. I think all the credits are opening. I don't think they've ever not opened with credits and then had some after.
What?
Well, because these were all in the 50s and 60s so far, so credits were not at the end; they were at the beginning. Because I distinguish by opening credits, but they're just the credits.
Yeah.
So I was awake for the credits. And yeah, no, I did see the stills, but I already knew that it was going to be a mashup. So I was like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, I
kind of got excited by it actually because I was like, oh, cool, there's going to be stuff. And then like,
But you fell asleep.
well, but then they were like,
stuff.
hey, there's a princess from Venus. Oh, her plane blew up, and I was like, yeah, it's
I mean, that's going to be every Godzilla film. There will never be a single Godzilla film where there is no human drama.
Are you kidding me that there's no Godzilla film that's good?
I never said that. There are plenty that
there
are
better
good.
not be there better not be any more Venus princesses. All right?
Every single Godzilla film, without exception, is like, I'd say 60-40, where 60% is human drama, 40% monster action.
No, I'm expecting that. I mean,
that's on a good film.
That's what Gojira was pretty much, but like,
Yeah.
At least those were done good. This was like the hell am I watching?
Well, you can't fairly judge that because you were asleep for 98% of it.
Yeah, but like, for those 2%, I definitely was not entertained.
Just means you weren't hooked on it.
It should have started with like a farmer or something, just plowing stuff in his field and then going, what's that? And then just a giant Godzilla foot stomps on him. And then like immediate cut to,
What?
I don't know, like downtown Tokyo. And then they're like, what's that? The sun got blotted out. By what? Oh, Rodan. And then, and then like, if you did want to throw in the Venus princess, she's like, hey guys, look out. It's a giant moth. And then just the moth like sits on everybody and kills them.
So much emphasis on moth.
And
hey guys, look out. It's a giant moth.
Exactly. I mean, that's pretty much what she did the whole time, right? She's like, look out. It's a monster. And then like, everyone was like, nah. And then like, oh my God, it's a monster. Yeah, it's. And then of course, who's the last one? Oh yeah. How could I forget the title character? They're just like,
King
hey, by the
Ghidorah.
way, get ready to roll credits. Ghidorah like drops down on like a rock in the middle of the sea and does this like real cool like sunset shot where like it's behind him in this silhouette of like a 3-headed dragon, just like kind of like a kind of like a superhero pose. It's like, yeah, and then just roll credits.
He has no arms, by the way.
I'm sorry. The end.
Yeah.
Because
and then you got
credits were in the
nowhere to go
opening.
from there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just the movie. That would have been so much more entertaining.
Oh my God.
I would've- that
The
would've been
problem with
great.
that logic is then you have a Varan.
Oh. Yes.
You
But it
may
would be
you may
short and sweet.
you may think you want that. Believe me, I think I want that.
It
But
would be-
Varan begs to differ.
It would be short and sweet, and I would appreciate it a lot more.
Anyway,
The buildup is murder. Like the first one, Gojira.
so the monster action.
it was
we
okay.
gotta get back to the to the point. We're coming in on an hour now.
That's never stopped us before.
It has actually.
No, it hasn't.
It has many times.
So in chronological order.
Well, I mean, I was just saying, just until we got to the. Anyway, what'd you think? Like, what are your notes on like the monster stuff?
Mine is that Mothra is the only chill monster, and is on the human side. I don't think you picked that up because you were
I
knocked
didn't know
out.
Mothra was in the film.
Yeah, she was in the film.
Oh yeah, she.
Yeah, Mothra's in the film.
Peacemaker.
The Mothra larva was in the film, to be more specific. Adult Mothra was not in it. In fact, only one of the larvae was in it because they mentioned that the twin had died off screen.
That's convenient. They just lost the costume.
Well, not quite. I'll
Kinda
get to
like how
that
they
in my
were-
trivia notes.
Kind of like how they were.
It is convenient, but not
kind of like how they were like,
for that
Wolverine's gonna
reason.
show up in Spider-Man. Just kidding. The suit got stolen. Our bad.
What?
You didn't know about that?
No. Tell me later.
The suit got stolen.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman was gonna make a cameo as Wolverine in the 2002 Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, but like just before they were gonna shoot it, the X-Men suit got stolen, so they were like, damn, we can't do it. And yeah, so that just never happened.
Oh
cinematic
no!
universe.
Oh darn! He can't show up in your silly your goofy Spider-Man movie. Oh, all right.
Did you not like 2002
No,
Spider-Man?
I was mocking what they were probably saying.
I got you. Okay.
I'm like, why does he have to wear a suit? Just put some.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't know. He just doesn't wear a suit most of the
shirtless.
movie.
Yeah.
So like, what the hell?
Just give him some metal knives and
Give him-
shirtless.
Don't even
put
give him
knives in
claws.
his hands. It's we'll understand the reference. We'll be like, oh, wink, wink, nod, nod. He's a Canadian with a beard. And
We'll fix it in post in your silly spider movie.
Jesus.
Anyway, all right. So some of the notes I had, but I guess leading up to the big brawl at the end. Then,
Okay.
let's see. So the film introduces Rodan. I really liked this. Is probably Rodan's introduction in this film in the volcano is probably one of my favorite introductions for any of these monsters.
It looks pregnant, by the way. I thought it was hair on its chest, and then I was like, looks like a bunch of
They definitely had to
chest
update.
pieces.
Yeah, they definitely had to update the costume for the sake of the fights. The original suit wasn't intended for anything like what happens in this film.
It wasn't flight ready.
Fight.
No flight. He flies.
Yeah, I'm saying the original suit wasn't intended to be in a
Oh, in combat.
3v1.
Oh, it was just meant to soar.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
they updated the suit for this one to accommodate for a
Good.
guy in a suit.
Good. Yeah.
Anyway, no, yeah, the way they introduced Rodan in this film, where he's in the volcano and the guy goes down to pick up his hat and the volcano just kind of erupts and Rodan's just there. I don't know, just the way it's like shot and built up. I really like it. And then Rodan flies away, and then you just the script just kind of forgets about him. He flies away, and no one goes, "Hey, where's Rodan?" It's just he's just out there. Keep in mind that the last time he was just out there, he like destroyed half the earth by just flying.
Oh yeah.
No one cares that Rodan's just out there. And then Godzilla shows up. This is the one I'll come back to this, but Godzilla shows up and he blows up a ship, and he goes on to land, and we get a short Godzilla versus Rodan, just a nice little 1v1.
It was a volleyball game.
A little appetite wetter.
But I'll come back to the Godzilla thing. Let's see. Moth at that point, I think Mothra shows up. I think.
I
don't remember if Mothra shows up before or after Ghidorah officially appears. It might have been before, it might have been after. I don't
remember
I don't
exactly
remember
when.
either.
Of course you don't remember. Ghidorah's entrance was really cool. So I guess for you, Sean, I'll paint a visual picture.
Mhm.
So there's the meteorite, and it's magnetized. That's like one of the things the scientists are studying is like, oh, why is it being magnetic? And it's like constantly like dragging their pickaxes away. It's kind of trolling them,
Oh,
right?
you mean Gorath?
No, the meteorite.
Yeah, Gorath.
No, the meteorite.
And continue.
So it's just kind of there. It's like trolling them because it'll just magnetize all their pickaxes and all their tools, and then it'll go like a day without doing anything. So they'll go and retrieve all their shit. Like, oh, okay, why is it not doing anything? Then it'll just take it all away again.
Oh,
It does it like 3
So
times.
it's like a bipolar magnet.
Yeah, it does it like 3 times before the meteorite cracks.
Oh, that's not even a pun. Bipolar magnet.
So the meteorite cracks, and there's like a bunch of fire and explosions from it, like sparks and whatnot. And then there's a big giant explosion, and then Ghidorah like the special effects are really good for at least this first entrance. They're gonna reuse this entrance basically every time Ghidorah's in one of these movies.
Wait,
So
like
it's-
the style, like they're gonna reshoot it and just it's the same thing shot for shot, or it's like actually the same stock footage.
I don't remember off the top of my head. We'll find out soon enough.
Oh god.
But it's at the very least, it's exactly the same style, which is why it kind of loses its like
Cool factor.
yeah.
Okay,
So the
Transformers.
meteorite explodes like a huge like Michael Bay like fire like
Oh, so
geyser.
very, very much like Transformers.
Yeah,
just-
and then like in the fire like takes the shape of Ghidorah's silhouette, and then Ghidorah just like forms from the fire.
that actually sounds
It's really cool.
kind of bitching, but
And then
Oh, well.
Ghidorah flies away and starts destroying stuff. So yeah, that's where Mothra comes into the plot. The twins summon Mothra because Godzilla and Rodan
Mothra
are
larvae.
yeah. Godzilla and Rodan are they're just going at each other.
Yeah,
They don't care. They don't even care about Ghidorah. They just have a vendetta against each other specifically. So the twins summon Mothra to kind of like
clearly those two are the Cap and Iron Man of this little
basically
kaiju cinematic universe. Godzilla is Iron Man. He was the first, and then who's the other one? Rodan. Rodan's the Captain America.
The scene is more like Godzilla would be Iron Man and Rodan would be Thor, and then Mothra would come in like Captain America from in the forest fight because the two of them are just going at it, and then Mothra comes in to like break up the fight and be like, "There's a three-headed dragon."
Good point, because Captain America technically came out after Thor, so that would be an accurate statement.
Yeah.
And he's the peacemaker, and he lays eggs.
No, I mean,
twins follow him around.
I'm being almost literal in that sense. Mothra shows up and they start talking.
Wait.
Yeah, you missed that.
I'm being very literal.
Wait.
I'm being very literal when I say Mothra shows up and breaks up the fight, and to be like, "There's a three-headed dragon, guys." Like,
wait,
they
have voices.
No. They roar at each other, but the twins translate it. That's
of course they do.
That's the twins' purpose is to translate the monsters speaking to each other, the monster language. But the monsters.
Turn my mic off while I swear my head off.
We can still hear you.
Yes, through our mics.
Through our mics. Anyway, yeah. So the monsters, they just kind of roar at each other. But long story short, yeah. The Mothra's like, guys, like, cut the shit. There's a three-headed dragon. And then both Rodan and Godzilla are like, nah. Like, they don't care. They just go back to fighting each other. So Mothra's like, all right, I'll go take it on myself. This stupid little turd.
It's like a bar brawl. Stop fighting. Sit down, have drinks. No.
Well, there was a reason why they were like, no. Do you remember the reason?
The reason is you.
It's me.
Hooba stank the reason.
I think I know the reason you're talking about.
Gosh.
I think I know. I'll come back to that in just a second. So keep in mind, so Ghidorah, I guess, quick fun fact, this is the first monster introduced that's larger than Godzilla. This is a massive monster. So this tiny little...
Ghidorah is.
Yeah, Ghidorah.
Cool.
So this tiny little turd just rolls off and Mothra's like, all right, if you guys won't do it, I'll go solo the dragon. So Mothra just kind of just scurries off. And Ghidorah just lays into Mothra. It is funny. Mothra gets her ass handed to her. Just thrown around. I mean, thrown around. Like, this larva's flying everywhere. Ghidorah is just not giving a shit.
And it's like, I wish I had wings, you know.
And at that point, Godzilla just kind of shows up just to see what the ruckus is about, and then they fight.
It's entertained.
Ghidorah. It's entertained.
Comes up and it's like, like, you know.
So that's the setup, and then the brawl happens, and then, like I said, you know, Ghidorah serves it to them. They serve it to Ghidorah. There's no real definitive winner, because then Ghidorah just kind of flies away, and that's
Think about ball and going home, guys.
So yeah, going back to what I believe you were about to say. So when the twins are translating, this kind of ties into another important fun fact, which is this is officially, I know I said this, I think Mothra versus Godzilla. I said this in one of the previous Godzilla films, but this is officially the first film where they try and convert Godzilla into a hero, because this film is geared more for children. As just about the rest of the Showa films, they start getting more and more like children's specials, and they start pushing Godzilla more and more to be a child-friendly hero. And so this is the first film where they officially start converting, basically, like, it gets to that point, more or less. And this is the first film where they officially start like transitioning that. Because
to teach kids how to read.
When Mothra's breaking up the fight, the twins are like, "Oh, I think this is what you're about to get to." Yeah, Mothra's like, "Why don't you guys want to help all the humans? Like, there's a big scary monster destroying everything." And Godzilla's like, "Because they're bullying us. Like, they keep shooting us with our missiles. They're like they attacked us first. We didn't want to destroy them, so they can handle it themselves. That's basically what he says. He's basically saying, yeah, the humans keep bullying us for no reason.
You don't mean to me, so I'm mean to you.
Yeah,
basically,
pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah, humans are mean, so we don't want to help them.
Yeah, and that's kind of the reason why they didn't want to go fight the dragon at first. I have a major point of contention. Contention. Thank you. I couldn't speak. I have a big problem with that line specifically in this film. I get that they threw it in there just to, again, like begin that official transition into good guy. I have a big problem with it though, because his logic, Godzilla's logic, makes no sense. His logic is we never intended to hurt them. They hurt us first. And yet if you rewind to when he was introduced, he literally blew up a ship for no reason.
He's just like,
He shows up.
No. That's a different Godzilla.
No.
Oh, wait, you mean in this movie?
In this movie.
Oh, I thought...
In this movie.
I thought you meant Gojira. I'm like,
No.
yeah, but I mean, that was his predecessor.
No.
It was a different dinosaur, remember?
In this movie, Godzilla's introduced by like standing up out of the ocean and atomic blasting this cruise ship for no reason.
Oh, wow.
Then he's reintroduced like 15 minutes later, arriving on the shores in, I don't think it's Tokyo, just in Japan, so like one of these random cities.
They're trying to make him an anti-hero.
Basically.
They're like, I'm going to kill people, but for justice.
But yeah, so he blows up like a bunch more ships, destroys the city, and then he walks off to chase after Rodan.
But you know what? This is more like Justice League. Godzilla is Batman. Just murders people, but he's still kid-friendly because Saturday morning cartoons.
Basically. So yeah, that's why I call bull on that one. But you know they want to make him a hero basically. So whatever. Let's see.
and then at the end, how they leave it.
How what?
At the end, when
Oh.
Ghidorah just flies away.
Yeah, so Ghidorah flies away at the very end, and Mothra just kind of swims back home to Infant Island, right? And the film closes with Godzilla and Rodan just chilling on a cliff, basically like waving goodbye.
Yeah, pretty much.
But-
Just
But
looking
it just
on.
ends with them like standing there. It like, that's like Rodan doesn't fly away, Godzilla doesn't go anywhere. They're just standing there. So I was like, they're just gonna go right back to fighting each other now, yeah? like the threat's gone, Mothra's gone to break up the fight. So they're just gonna go back to just killing each other.
Like, do they not care about destroying them? Like, they're just gonna go back to like what they did before, like get down buildings,
but
destroying the land.
yeah,
That's a beautiful little poetic ending right there. It's like this whole time you thought like maybe they were gonna change, but no, people can't change. That's
especially
what it
not
was.
monsters.
Especially not monsters because they're monsters.
And what about Ghidorah? Just flies away. Where is it going?
Yeah, Ghidorah flies away.
Oh, Ghidorah was I can't say that. Ghidorah was a wimp with an emphasis on the P. He was a wimp. So wait, actually, are you gonna be able to hear that because of the pad? The
Yes,
pop
yes,
filter?
I'll be able to hear that.
Pad.
Cool, just
The
checking.
pads.
Yeah, no, he was
So-
a wimp with the emphasis on the P. I hope you get what I'm throwing down.
Yeah, a wimp.
Pick it up what I'm throwing down.
A wimp.
No.
So
I mean,
in
the P word for wimp, but
in,
you know,
in
that's
spirit,
what Ghidorah was. He's the big bully, and we just chase him off, and then that's how you
in
stop
the
bullying on school field.
in the
That's
spirit
the moral
of
the story.
this being the first film to transition Godzilla into being a children's hero.
Anti-hero.
Specifically a children's.
Barney never killed people. Barney's a children's hero. He's an anti-hero.
I said
He's
transition. I didn't say just instant jump cut to Barney. I said this is the transition period. This is the period where you go from hard R Netflix Barney to cable version Barney. There's got to be a middle ground. This is that middle ground, all right?
I thought they were just gonna like straight up like Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo,
No, no.
right away. Oh,
No.
change.
There's gonna be that middle ground. So in keeping in line with that, this is the first film where they really get goofy with their fights. For
No, it's
example-
not. No, it's not.
Oh yeah, it
King
is.
Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the
that
way,
will always
speaking of that, Godzilla can throw rocks now. I think he picked up that
When I
skill.
say this film gets goofy with its fights, I mean King Kong versus Godzilla's got nothing on this.
Oh my god.
So in the Godzilla versus Rodan 1v1 that I mentioned, Godzilla, he picks up a rock, or maybe he kicks the rock. I don't remember. Either way, they start playing volleyball with the rock. Godzilla kicks the rock at Rodan. Rodan headbutts it back to Godzilla. Godzilla smacks it back, like backhand slaps it back, and that goes on for like a minute and a half
before Mothra.
Before Mothra shows up and so Mothra shows up and she like webs Godzilla's face, and Rodan straight up starts laughing. Like he starts laughing and he starts flapping his wings and his head like he's like laughing, like he's getting a good chuckle.
Oh, so it was clearly choreographed by the same two that were given free reign on King Kong versus Godzilla.
No, that was a boxing match. This is different. This is goofier. That's what I mean. So then
it was clearly choreographed by the same guys because their victory dances are pretty much the same thing.
Hold on.
Godzilla does the Rodan thing where he flaps his little arms and he's like,
yeah. So speaking about that, so Rodan starts getting a good chuckle. Then Mothra turns around and webs him in the face, and Godzilla gets a good chuckle out of that one too.
This is very much Civil War, where just webs are getting shot everywhere. People are laughing it up, like we're fighting our buddies. We should be on the same side. We're all freaks. Wait a minute. Wouldn't you think that the monsters would team up and go, "Hey, F the humans. Let's just sit on them all," and then just all the monsters go around the world and just sit on everybody? Like, don't you think that'd be
another
thing that they do? Because there's only like 4 of them, right? Like, but if they keep fighting, there's gonna be 3. Actually, sorry, there already is 3 because Mothra doesn't count. It's a Mothra larvae.
During the fight against Ghidorah,
Larva.
in one of the most iconic shots from any of these Showa era films. Not quite top 3, but it's probably top 5. Probably. I'm not 100%. I don't remember a whole lot. Godzilla's balls get electrocuted by Ghidorah. like straight up. Ghidorah's whole thing, it's a 3-headed dragon that can shoot electricity, right? Like beams of electricity. Okay?
Yeah.
And so it does a shot. It's like a mid shot of Godzilla's like upper body's head, right? Ghidorah's just electrocuting him like the Emperor would with force lightning. but then it pans down, like I guess it's more like cranes down, because it just goes down.
It just drops
right to his crotch, and the beams go right to his balls, and he cups his balls too and starts dancing.
Just imagine like that.
Yeah,
is that a social commentary for Guantanamo Bay? Don't torture people.
He does that to his ass too, right?
Yeah, and then like a couple minutes later, like Godzilla gets knocked down. So Ghidorah turns around and electrocutes his ass.
Godzilla got double penetrated.
Like,
what?
Yeah, and then Godzilla jumps up and starts like patting his tail down.
This is definitely an allegory for rape.
That's what I mean by these fights get a lot goofier. Rodan did during
gagging with trees.
No. But there is it's like a hybrid of when King Kong grabbed Godzilla's tail and Godzilla was like, please no. There's a hybrid of that where I say a hybrid because it's a hybrid between that and when Mothra bit Godzilla's tail in Mothra versus Godzilla. Because when Mothra and Rodan Godzilla and Rodan are fighting in their 1v1, Rodan bites Godzilla's tail and tries to drag him off, and he has onto the rocks again. Like, no, let's not do this again.
Not again.
Oh, how can I forget? Rodan has some super strength in this film. Rodan knocks Godzilla down, right? And then Rodan picks him up with his feet. Like, he just grabs onto Godzilla's spines and just flies up in the air like it's nothing. And he flies over.
I wish I could see this. I'm just imagining I'm imagining like the model, but like with the costume, just the Godzilla costume, just flapping around as Godzilla its feet.
The best part was so he flies over. He drags Godzilla in the air, flies over one of those what were they? One of those phone lines.
Electrical.
Yeah, one of those one of those like electrical towers.
Yeah. Okay.
The power generator towers, whatever. Rodan drags Godzilla over one of them and just drops Godzilla on it, but he drops it on it specifically so that Godzilla's crotch gets crushed by it. Like again, like I don't know what this film is with like electrocuting Godzilla's balls, but Godzilla just drops on this thing like balls first.
Ishiro Honda's been on set too long. He forgot what it was like to be loved. He's a little sexually repressed. And he's like, I'll take it out on Godzilla, damn it.
Rodan also
just like he did with the
full
last
on
movie.
like headbutt.
Oh, that's
Ghidorah,
right.
And
yeah,
then
and then during the Ghidorah fight, because Ghidorah can fly, it's a dragon. So Rodan flies away and Ghidorah chases after it. And Rodan does one of its Rodan maneuvers where they're going like neck and neck, like Ghidorah's like right on its tail, and Ghidorah just like does like a Star Wars like backwards like U-turn.
Oh, like a fly upside down for a second and like
yeah, like
kind of like a flyby.
Yeah, kind of like more like if you're playing like Battlefront, how like you're flying and you reach the edge of the map, so
and
it
it just
forces
flips
you to
around,
flips you around. Rodan does like that and just speeds up to like 12 to like 12 times faster and just rams head first into Ghidorah. But the way it was shot was more like they like threw a rock at Ghidorah because it just hard cuts to just this fast moving like thing just thrown at this model of Ghidorah and they both just drop.
Jesus.
It's so great. It's so great. That's what I mean by these fights this is the first one where it's goofier.
Don't forget that Mothra rode on Rodan.
No, he didn't ride on Rodan. He rode on Godzilla. She rode on Godzilla's tail.
But she also flew.
Did she?
Like Rodan picked her up, and then they're flying, and then she was shooting the web.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, at the very end there. Yeah, I did forget about that one.
And
yeah, Mothra's kind of useless in this fight. Like she was there just as a mediator, and then she just gets destroyed. Like in her 1v1 with Ghidorah and in the final fight, like all you see is this larva prop just get flung around in the background because Ghidorah, like I said, can shoot electricity, and she's just a little turd like larva. So
I'm imagining like Rodan flips around, headbutts Ghidorah, at like full speed like a rock. Ghidorah kind of like flails for a minute in the sky, and then like cut to over Godzilla's shoulder, just like he's very just clearly like watching the whole thing, and then like reverse angle looking at Godzilla's like messed up cross-eyed face going introspective moment, and then like in the way background the larva flying across the screen, like just no reason, just still flying around like trying to get his footing.
There was this scene where
that's what I'm picturing. This fight.
I think it was when Rodan was fighting Ghidorah. That's when Godzilla goes down to like rescue Mothra. Like Mothra's, I said, like Mothra gets like flung like 10 miles away into a ditch. like I'm not kidding. Like this poor larva, she just gets tossed everywhere. Like every shot that isn't with Godzilla, Rodan, or Ghidorah is of Mothra just like flying away. So while Rodan is distracting Ghidorah, Godzilla walks over and he like dips his tail into the ditch so Mothra can bite onto the tip, and he like drags her out. And then at the end of the fight, Rodan, like Mothra like crawls onto Rodan's back, and Rodan like uses Mothra as like a cannon, because Rodan then flies around while Mothra's like shooting her webbing. It's like all she's good for in the fight, really. She webs up.
So Mothra is very clearly the Black Widow.
Yes.
just good to be thrown around.
She webs up Ghidorah's heads, but again, it doesn't do anything because Ghidorah at that point just flies away. Like, cool, you webbed up its heads. Good for you. She flies away.
It's fine.
It was very entertaining. It was very, very entertaining, and it was a significant portion of the film. It's not like it was the last 5 minutes. It was like largely the third act of the film was this brawl.
It wasn't 5 minutes of the film intercut with a prison break.
Yeah. It was
some high speed, Sean porno overdub fight scene.
Yeah, it's.
I think this one was by far my favorite.
It wasn't quite
favorite
as
movie or favorite fight.
Favorite fight, I guess movie.
Yeah, I definitely think I like Mothra vs. Godzilla better as a film, but this one, I mean,
You can't beat the classics.
You can't beat the classics, such as Godzilla's balls just getting humiliated over and over again.
Or like having a fight with Bonesaw. You can't beat the classics. Hashtag Toby forever.
With that said, speaking of Mothra vs. Godzilla, I will say like the fights definitely aren't as refined. Obviously, when you have like it takes the goofiness of King Kong vs. Godzilla, but gives it like the more natural suits of Mothra vs. Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
So the suits look better.
So it's an upgrade. So it is the MCU.
It's an upgrade.
The Monster Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, that was basically the film. That's about all the notes I have on it. It's super entertaining. It is a classic for good reasons.
The KCU, if you will, the Kaiju Cinematic Universe, or rather the KFC, the Kaiju Fight Company.
KFC.
That's copyright. That's trademark. We
Kaiju,
can't say that.
No, the acronym nope. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken. Everyone knows it is.
Well,
KFC.
now you've said it.
But that's that one no, KFC
you can't
is.
say the copyright.
No, of course you can.
No, you can't. That's how we get shut down.
No, that's not how you get shut down.
Tell it to.
We can't talk about Disney or Marvel or Star Wars or anything that we've brought up before.
Tell it to all of the
shit. We can't even talk about Toho, my dude. They're gonna shut us down. God damn.
Well, now that you've name dropped them.
Yeah, you name dropped them.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I said Togo.
I hate you. Oh, and now Togo's is gonna get us. I hate you.
Well, God damn it! I didn't say Togos. You said Togos. I said Togo.
All right, well, this has been the Legit Day Job podcast.
Why don't you just spell it out? T-O-H-O already.
We're not coming back. Sorry, guys.
This is the legit canceled podcast.
We've been legitimately canceled.
This is the legit lawsuit.
It's a legit lost.
You got anything else to say about Ghidorah?
Scores?
All right. Well, I wait. Go ahead and give your score.
9 out of 10.
All right.
I got some trivia for this one.
God, no score for you.
How
many headed monsters is it? Out of 10?
I give it 1 million volts to the balls.
Jesus, I don't know how many heads that is, but
you should really see that scene when he's.
If there's one head for every 2 balls, I guess it'd be 500,000.
So really quick, because some of the trivia, some interesting trivia. Let's see. So this one, as I mentioned when we watched it, it was written as a direct sequel to Mothra vs. Godzilla. Less so, once again, less so with the characters, more so with the monsters. That's pretty much going to be a trend when I say a direct sequel, at least in this first era of films, is they're pretty much largely ignoring, because there are never any returning human characters. So I guess when I say direct sequel, I guess just refer to events, right? Like,
even though there's returning actors, no returning human characters.
No returning human characters. Like, for example, when I say this is a direct sequel, I mean Mothra vs. Godzilla is a thing and is acknowledged because the twins show up and they're like, "Where's Mothra?" And they're like, "Well, one of the 2 twins died. Like, one of the 2 Mothra larvae died."
Which is funny because they're like, hey, not the same characters except the twins and the monsters.
Well, no.
But also the monsters have the same...
It's not that. Like,
the monsters have the same history. We expect you guys have seen this other kaiju movie.
Yeah.
But... not the same movie.
I mean, the characters are there. They're not retconning out the human characters. They're just never brought back in.
They're just having the same actors play totally different characters.
Exactly.
Which is a wasted potential.
But perfectly fine outside of the confusion of same actors. Like, they're playing different characters.
Yeah, that's very confusing. I will just treat this as individual movies.
This was the first film to reuse a Godzilla suit. This is the same suit from Mothra vs. Godzilla. However, they did replace the head. Because the head just received too much damage from Mothra vs. Godzilla. As I mentioned, I think when we first started this expedition, I mentioned one of those suits caught on fire legitimately, and they just kept rolling. That was Mothra vs. Godzilla. When the military was shooting at Godzilla and it caught on fire, like the head. That wasn't scripted. The pyrotechnics actually caused the suit to catch on fire, but they just kept it rolling.
Nice.
That's what I'd do if I was directing.
But yeah,
it's happening. Let's get it on film so we can use it maybe in post.
That head just received too much damage. I guess these right now these are more Mothra vs. Godzilla fun facts that I just forgot about last episode. Another instance of the head just receiving damage in Mothra vs. Godzilla, when Godzilla destroys the same building again, whatever that building is called,
Castle.
The castle, which does get destroyed in this one again by Ghidorah. Ghidorah flies over and it just gets obliterated. In Mothra vs. Godzilla like falls into it. That was an accident. Like the actor legitimately slipped into it, but they just kept it. But because of that, like the head got banged up on it. Like the jaw was like misaligned.
Jeez.
And so like point is, yeah, they full on replaced the head in this one.
Because they had to.
Because
There was no head left.
Yeah.
It was a headless Godzilla.
Yeah, just
The eyes weren't
they
quite.
just keep all the shots like neck down, like that one redheaded chick from Powerpuff Girls, the really tall like assistant who you just never see her face. You know? It's like that. But it's like, oh, that's Godzilla, just no head, like only arms in the shot.
You gotta show his face.
You're like, wow, they're really trying to build this suspense here. What does Godzilla's face look like?
Although
one superimposed shot of like a messed up head, just, fire burned and like a disaligned jaw. Just
one thing.
Oh, Godzilla.
One thing I was impressed by, probably because they replaced the head. I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm assuming they only did this because they bought. They went ahead and replaced the head. They animated the pupils. Like it was like an animatronic. There were several like close up shots of Godzilla's face where like he was like looking around. Like his eyes were like moving around.
I'm imagining
it's really cool.
I'm imagining like a Disneyland like attraction, like the dead eyes that like look around, with the big ass smile. They're like, oh, hey kids, but it's like looking around everywhere, like as if it's trying to look for audience members or something, but they're like right in front of it, and you're like, what is going on? And it's just clearly just broken. I'm imagining Godzilla like looking around, going, "Where are they?" And like the fight's like right in front of him, and his eyes just darting everywhere, and he like gets knocked back on his back, and then he looks like a claymation like angry guy where their eyes kind of roll around in their head, and they're like, and their face turns red. Like I'm imagining he's losing, and just his eyes are rolling everywhere. That's great.
Another fun fact: apparently, operating King Ghidorah was an art in itself. So not only did it have an actor inside the suit.
Mm-hmm.
But this poor guy. So he was crouched over in the suit. You don't know what the monster looks like because you were asleep. Yeah. But it has no arms. It's a giant 3-headed dragon with no arms, just 2 big ass wings.
Yep.
It doesn't have legs either.
No, it has legs.
Oh, okay, but it just doesn't have any. It's not like Godzilla where they're opposable. They're just
the legs.
4 legs.
No. It is a 2-legged 3-headed dragon.
That doesn't sound logical.
Yeah, there's just no legs.
Yeah.
I mean, no arms.
Wow.
So,
they suck at designing monsters. Continue.
Anyway, so this poor guy, he's crouched inside. He's like hunched over inside this giant, like it's a big suit. Again, it's larger than Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to hold on to a crossbar for support because there's no arms and it's like an awkward like fit.
Uh-huh.
And then on top of that, because he's essentially just operating the legs, really, at that point. So they had as many as 7 men operating everything else. They were like up in the rafters above, operating the heads, the 3 heads, the 2 tails, and the wings.
It's got 2 tails?
It has 2 tails.
They really suck at designing monsters.
It's one long tail that kind of like halfway splinters off into 2.
But they're operating them separately, obviously.
Yes.
Wow. They really didn't have production in mind here. They were just like, let's make it. And then
I'll get to that in just a second. That's one of the fun facts is the design of the monster.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, they had as many as 7 guys operating this one monster, and like on wires. Like it was basically a giant puppet with a guy operating the legs inside the suit, which is impressive in its own right. It was also, I guess, a huge mess during filming because the wires were constantly getting tangled together or caught on the suit itself, like under the scales or on the wings. The heads were getting wrapped around each other. It was a disaster.
So it was like a deluxe suit. They didn't just go fabric.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
So that was Ghidorah. For Mothra, adult Mothra was, I guess, intended to be in the film originally. They didn't want the little stupid ass turd in the film. They wanted Mothra in the movie. But as you can probably imagine, they realized very quickly that was going to be a monumental task with essentially 8 guys operating Ghidorah alone on top of having Rodan, another flying monster, adding a third flying monster.
Godzilla would have been left out.
It
They'd
was
be all flying in the air like a dog fight, and he'd be like, "Oh,
yeah. So that was the reason why
grows wings.
that was the reason why apparently they decided to go with the Mothra larva, which is also I would assume why they also chose to kill off the second larva off screen.
Oh yeah, because they were like, why have two?
Well, I mean,
we don't have the crew for that. We have like 2 weeks to film this whole movie. Let's just go.
Yeah. So
it
wasn't
funny to like fly them both around though.
Yeah.
So one can fling around while the other's used as a cannon. Yes.
Throw at them.
In the script, here is the quote for how Ghidorah is described in the script. So this is what they had to go off of when they designed the suit. And I'm gonna tell you this in a second, but I will say beforehand, the design they came up with again, it's one of their in their top 4 most iconic suits. So the fact that they pulled like they designed a design as iconic from this stupid ass description, it's quite impressive. Here's how it's described in the script. This is as far as I am aware, verbatim. It has 3 heads, 2 tails, and a voice like a bell. That's what they had to go off of.
What?
It has 3 heads, 2 tails, and a voice like a bell. And from that, they created the iconic design of King Ghidorah. Fun fact, I guess more for you, since you know what Ghidorah looks like. His original design had a different color scheme. The final design, he's just a golden dragon, basically. However, originally he was gonna have a purple body. He was gonna have like rainbow wings.
What?
And instead of electricity, all 3 heads were gonna spit fire.
Wow, it's very
different.
very colorful.
Just FYI, you can't say Golden Dragon.
Why?
It's a restaurant.
But this is I'm not talking Chinese food. This is a Japanese monster.
Oh, really? Well, then I guess all those other times we brought things up, they're just go, oh, whatever.
See, but that's different because I wasn't specifically referring to the Chinese restaurant, though. I was just saying there's a golden dragon. I'm getting a call from National. I wonder if that's the FBI calling about your copyright issues.
I hope it is.
So now you know what you're eating for lunch.
I doubt you even noticed this. I never noticed this either until I read the fun fact. This is the first film. I don't know about the only one. This is the first film that does not feature any military vehicles. No planes, no jets, no missiles, no military at all.
And I missed it?
Yeah.
Damn.
No tanks?
No tanks. Nothing.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's just monsters.
I don't know planes. I didn't see that, but tanks or anything? I thought there would be
Nothing.
at least tanks.
Well, not
Nothing.
military stuff, right? Because I'm like, there was an airliner that blew up with it was a princess.
There was a private plane.
Yeah, the
and there was
princess's
a cruise
thing.
ship, but no military attack vehicles of any kind.
Interesting.
Also, fun fact that you probably again didn't realize: Godzilla does not once ever use his atomic breath on King Ghidorah.
Oh yeah.
All he does is throw rocks at King Ghidorah. No joke. All he does is throw rocks.
The new head wasn't accommodated with the spray feature.
Well,
It was like the backup mask, and they were like, "Oh, we gotta go. We got like 2 weeks to film this. Let's go."
In Mothra vs. Godzilla, were they still using like a fog machine, or at that point did they commit solely to this to a digital effect? I don't remember.
I think they were probably.
Wait,
which one?
Mothra vs. Godzilla,
Oh, I
the
was
last
asleep.
Godzilla film.
I was asleep. Never mind.
Okay.
You were asleep in that one too?
Dude, I slept through like all of those.
Oh my god.
Both Mothra ones before. Like both of them, I totally fell asleep for. Mothra, 1961, fell asleep, caught up on Wiki, the most reliable source on the internet. Mothra versus Godzilla, 1964.
This episode
fell
is-
asleep, caught up on Wiki, the most reliable source on the internet.
Fun
Yeah,
fact,
so-
this episode is the first episode not to be sponsored by Wikipedia, the most trusted source on the internet, because it is not the most trusted source on the internet. They did not sponsor us today.
Oh, really?
Thus, we cannot say
Who are we getting
legally.
sponsored by then today?
DoorDash.
Cody?
today we're sponsored by DoorDash and Toho,
And the Chinese restaurant.
the Chinese restaurant, the Golden Dragon. So
This has
so
been the Legit
don't
Joe
don't
podcast.
don't
I'm
go to
Sean.
Wikipedia. Get your food today at Golden Dragon. Order it through DoorDash, and get it to go. I'm your host.
It's been legit.
I've been Sean. Yeah, this has been legit.
I'm your host.
What are we watching next week?
The next episode will be the last episode that we do not watch any Godzilla movies in.
Yes! All right, what are we watching?
I don't think you heard me correctly. I said the next episode we will not be watching any Godzilla movies.
Yes, I know. That'll be the last time, though.
Oh, yeah,
So everything after that is strictly Godzilla.
There's 2 more episodes after the next episode where we will be watching one Godzilla, one non-Godzilla.
That's fine, though.
But yeah,
But there will be
everything
Godzilla
after this
every
next
day.
episode will be at least one Godzilla movie.
Thank God,
but
we'll be
almost
making
entirely
progress.
Godzilla.
We'll be making progress.
So in this
here.
next episode on the Legit Day Job podcast, we will be taking a look at this one's a doozy. You ready? Take a guess. Take a guess what we're watching. Not a Godzilla movie. You'll never guess it.
Non-Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say Shitra, the ice volcano.
I don't know. They all end in Doras, so like.
It's funny because I
I don't
can
know.
see that big.
you're like it's funny because that's the name of the movie.
They're running out of animals and landmarks to turn
We
into
just
monsters.
made up a dragon, so
No, we will be watching Frankenstein Conquers the World and the War of the Gargantuans.
yes,
You have no idea
Oh
what those
my.
are.
absolutely no idea whatsoever.